Egypt has the best player in the tournament this year.
Salah, I mean, yeah.
This year.
Salah, he is the best African player now. We can be honest ourselves now.
No Oshimen.
You think Oshimen is a better player than Salah?
I mean, I think Oshimen had a better year than Salah.
That's it. So do I. But do you think he's a better player than Salah?
This year.
But
just based off of this year. Yes.
Yeah, okay, I agree with you based on this year, but I feel that's not how it works.
I mean, because at the end of the day, you know, that conversation piggies back off of the African best player that, you know.
Yeah, Oshimen won the award, but if you ask me right now if I think Oshimen is a better footballer than Mo Salah, I love Oshimen. Oshimen is my boy, but if you ask Oshimen, Oshimen hopes he can reach the level Salah has been at for the last 5 years.
As much as we detest the international break, this one has served up some interesting stuff, yeah? Yesterday night, the AFCON group stage draws happened in Abidjan. And we know the groups, we know how it is set up, and yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah, interesting groups. There are definitely some deep matches that we should see in the group stage, which is always great to see. Some people's road to the knockout stage is going to be more competitive than others, but that's the way it goes.
So I think the standout group for me will be definitely Group A. Group A that has the hosts, Ivory Coast, and the Super Eagles, Nigeria. And Equatorial Guinea, who did impress during the qualifiers. So that's three, I think, strong sides. And then Guinea-Bissau makes up the fourth name.
Yeah.
In the
Another group that I would definitely look at that caught my eye was Senegal, the holders, Cameroon, who you know their record and the history in AFCON, and Guinea, which is a decent side. A few good players have come from Guinea. Players of Guinean origin tend to play well for France and others, so I expect there to be some talent left behind.
So yeah, who do you think is winning Group A? Let's just run.
Group A. I'll give it to the hosts. They have a good side at home. I think they should start tournament.
Group B.
Group B, winner, I think, I would say that's going to Egypt or Ghana. I think Egypt qualified easier. They have the best player in the tournament, in Mo Salah. So yeah, I'll probably say Egypt.
Egypt has the best player in the tournament this year.
In Mo Salah, I mean, yeah.
This year.
Mo Salah, he is the best African player now. We can be honest ourselves now.
No Oshimen.
You think Oshimen is a better player than Salah?
I mean, I think Oshimen had a better year than Salah.
That's it. So do I. But do you think he's a better player than Salah?
This year.
But
just based off of this year.
Yes. Yeah, okay, I agree with you based on this year, but I feel that's not how it works.
I mean, because at the end of the day, you know, that conversation piggies back off of the African best player that, you know.
Yeah, Oshimen won the award, but if you ask me right now if I think Oshimen is a better footballer than Mo Salah, I love Oshimen. Oshimen is my boy, but if you ask Oshimen, Oshimen hopes he can reach the level Salah has been at for the last 5 years. I'll just leave it at that.
Based off of this year, right? I mean, I'll be giving it to Oshimen, but of course, you know that Mo Salah has achieved more.
The consistency of it
is more status. So yeah. Group C has Cameroon, Senegal, Guinea, and Gambia. Who are you giving that one to?
Yeah, I said that group should be a tough group, but I'm going to give it Senegal. I think Senegal probably. Like, they're the holders for a reason. I think they've been the most balanced and probably have the best squad XI in Africa for the last few years. So those players are getting older, so how they perform might not be the same, but I think I'll still give them that group.
Yeah, and talking about that group and that squad, how do you think Mane will feature in that squad?
I think with international football, even though Mane has come of age a bit and he is playing in a less competitive league, I feel he's still one of in the African Cup of Nations, the quality of a player like Sadio Mane, how long he's been in, does tend to show. So I do expect him to have a good tournament. I think he'll score a couple of goals. I think trying to defend their title, coming in as he might have the captain armband this time, I expect him to be solid.
All right. Group D has Algeria, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, and Angola. Burkina Faso is one of those teams that at any AFCON, sometimes they just come up and then they do a madness. So who would you give that group?
I have to give that to Algeria. I think they're one of the best sides in Africa historically. Algerian footballers are some of the best African footballers. They're silky. I'm going to be watching Algeria's games.
Algeria, okay. Group E, Tunisia, Mali, South Africa, and Namibia.
I don't know much about these sides. I might be wrong, but I'm going to go with South Africa for that one.
I think I would be more looking at Tunisia because South Africa themselves.
Tunisia did play well in the World Cup, didn't they?
They
That's a good shout. They were at the World Cup and they did play well. So
definitely Tunisia, they had a good World Cup and that same squad is still, that same group of players are still together. So I think maybe Tunisia because South Africa. The only issue for me is that as much as the country has tried to like invest in their football, we're seeing it pay more dividends with the Banyana side, right? The female football side. A lot less.
They're doing really well.
You know, a lot less with the men's side. So yeah. Group F: Morocco, Democratic Republic of Congo, Zambia, and Tanzania.
Can you run that back?
Morocco, Democratic Republic of
for
Congo,
sure.
Zambia, and Tanzania.
Morocco should definitely be one of the favorites for the tournament. They've been to a place where no African side has been to before. They have some of the legitimate best players. Some of the best players in the world are Moroccan. So I expect Morocco to do well.
Yeah, definitely. Manchester United's Sofiane Amrabat will be in that setup. But I want to make a case for Zambia. Zambia is one of those teams that surprises you as well as Burkina Faso that I mentioned in Group D. So Zambia is another one of those teams that I'll be looking at. They have one of the best local leagues on the continent, and many of their players are sort of like homegrown players. Where does Patindaka play for? Leicester City's Patindaka. So I think it's Zambia. So they have some of these players that they're doing well, locally and internationally, even though they're not playing for the top sides in Europe or across the world, but they have a pretty good setup set up to them. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comment sections. Anywhere you're watching this, who will win each group and who do you think will win the tournament overall? Would you like to make a prediction now?
It's kind of early for predictions, but it's too early for predictions. It's too early. Let's see how things go.
For me, I would like to put my money on Nigeria and the Super Eagles. The squad that we have this time around seems very solid. I'm not very confident in Jose Posero as manager of as the head coach, but that squad is solid. Look at what Victor Boniface is doing.
My problem is, I knew we were going to run through a list of strikers when we see that squad is such a good squad.
So
they are going to call some midfielders that okay, defenders that okay, and strikers. And at the end of the day, only 2 play. So then what? So if Oshimen and Boniface don't score a goal a game and 3 goals, then I don't know how confident I am. So yeah, the things I need to see from the start of the tournament, see how the setup is, see how the midfield works, see if Iwobi can actually bring the quality that Nigerians hope to see from him and the responsibility on his shoulders. There are a few things that have my question. And like you said, the manager, I don't even back him either. So, I want to be a fan, but...
But yeah, I definitely think that
there's a good chance.
There's a good chance.
The attack is their goals. The firepower is quite scary, and if that is used well, you can put the right players on the wing and fit as many players in as possible.
I mean, Moses Simon is still balling.
Yeah.
Chukwueze is still having a good time. In AC Milan, he has been a pretty good signing. So yeah, definitely that's where my money is. Let us know your thoughts in the comment sections. Like I said, anywhere you're watching this. Moving on from AFCON, we had a very big fixture in the UEFA Euro qualifiers. I'd say Spain versus Scotland was a very, very big one. If Scotland had won that one, they would have qualified for the Euros already. They've played 5 games, and they've played 6 games. They've won 5 and lost 1, which was yesterday's game. So that would have been a big win out of 8 games. Yeah. If you win 6, I feel like you're already there. Considering the number of games and the fixtures that remain in the group. So Spain were able to put Scotland to sword 2 goals to nothing.
But the thing is, that's not how the game went. So, like, watching the game, Scotland, it was a competitive game. Scotland got the first goal. Somebody scored a great free kick, but was ruled out for VAR issues. There was a foul in the build-up. And then, yes, Spain, just towards the end of the game, the quality just showed a bit. Morata scored a very good, and the last goal, I'd say Scotland were unlucky with that goal. But Scotland have looked great in the qualifiers. Like you said, they could almost have qualified at this point. They probably will still qualify. They had a bit of bad news. Their captain and Liverpool player Andy Robertson dislocated the shoulder in the game, so should be out for some time. They're saying Scotland are hoping he'll be back for them in November, which means it sounds like there's another international break in November, which is, as when I heard the manager say that, I was like, wait, November? But if he means he'll be back, still, there's another break in November, that's next month. So if he means he'll be back in November, yeah, good news, but for another break, I'm not really happy about that.
Of course, the Euros are still serving up massive results and big entertainment. But one thing that happened off the pitch that caught people's eyes, I think, over the past week was Belgium and Eden Hazard, who hung up his boots.
Yeah, Belgium man, Chelsea man, as in, I think the Real Madrid stint of his career, I don't remember. Even though he came with the Champions League, which is on his Wikipedia page from now to the end of time. Nobody can ask him about that. But yeah, Chelsea legend, I think. the discourse around Hazard, I don't think has been fair of late. So, like, yeah, he went to Real Madrid and didn't have the best of time in Real Madrid, but people forget how good Eden Hazard was whilst he was in the Premier League. Hazard was, there was a 5-year period in Premier League where I think if you total those 5 years, I think Hazard was the best player in the league. And 5 years is a very long time. He has one PFA, he has multiple league titles, and I think he was robbed of one PFA, the PFA that Kante won when he was at Chelsea. I think Hazard should have won that PFA. He had a 15-goal, 15-assist season, and that's a feat that probably only happened 3 other times in Premier League history, like Henry did it once and so on. No one does that. He didn't win the PFA there. So yeah, the discourse around Hazard that he's washed up, he was this, he was fake, he was just a showman. People bring up his goals, at least say he didn't score that many goals, and they put his numbers next to Salah's numbers and like, well, if he's so good, why is Salah scoring this many more goals than him? But I think that's just unfair discourse, and Hazard is one of the best players I ever saw. I think if you say he's not one of the best players you ever saw in the Premier League, you're probably just lying. So yeah, hats off to Eden Hazard. I hope retirement is all he hoped for, and yeah, signed off a baller.
I think it has been unfair, right? He's been getting a lot of flack, and there's always that my issue with fans and not putting things in proper context. Yeah. When this guy was at Chelsea, he was unplayable. Like he was the best player in the league for so many.
If you were going to play against Chelsea, that's why you were scared. This guy's gonna rip you up.
So all of those things. But yeah, massive congratulations to Eden Hazard on his retirement. I mean, it's a good thing, yeah, when you've had such a successful career and then you're ending it.
And for someone that started so young, like he was in Ligue 1 winning titles before he came to Premier League as a teenager, so that does take you. And then you consider the way he played again. Hazard was getting kicked like a crazy guy every single game for like 7 years straight. They're just kicking Hazard. Neymar too. So when you see those players, their careers aren't as long as the other players. There's a reason to that. It's not easy to keep taking those blows.
That's why I always say, Sha, just put things in context when you're, and then also understand that these players are human beings as well. Because many people just treat them as, as if they're not human beings. These guys, they're human beings too. But yeah, that's the point where we will wrap it up on today's episode. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Next time around when we come, there still wouldn't have been any club side football.
But there'll be the international games out of our club will be more interesting. I think these games that they served us for. France will probably play Germany, England, and so forth.
So yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one. For myself and Shopsy, peace.
Thanks for working with us.